Hey YouTube, here's your weekend update. I was hoping to have a really exciting video for you, but nothing nothing goes according to plan. So I didn't have a whole lot planned this weekend. The only thing I really planned on doing was working on the 53, trying to get it running, and I was expecting to have it all running and be able to drive it next week and get it all registered. Didn't happen, so I did install the HEI. All that stuff went fine. All that bolted right in, dropped in. I was kind of getting ready to fire it up, and I thought I'd play with the throttle linkage a little bit because it's kind of buggered and needed a little adjustment. So I started messing with that. Well, I found I barely touched one of the oil filter lines and it just crumbled. It just fell apart. So couldn't start that up. I kind of looked around. I couldn't find one of the little, I think it's an 1/8 inch like pipe thread plug that I could use just to block off that line, because on those you don't really need the oil filter. It's actually optional back then, so it'll run without it. But so I didn't have a plug. I didn't feel like running out last night, and then so that kind of fell apart. Then I pulled off, which I got it sitting right here, the starter switch. This is the I'll give you a little close-up shot of that. Get some light on it. This is on top of the starter itself. That's where the foot linkage actually contacts. Look inside there. I don't know if the light's good or not. Just looking backwards here. But you can see where it makes contact with that one there, and then it makes contact with the piece on the starter. Pretty simple design. Well, the reason I took it off is because I couldn't remember. I thought the stud was spinning. Well, apparently the threads are all screwed up on it. So it's obviously not a stud, it's an actual little contact piece in there. So that ain't happening. I was hoping just to replace a nut and a bolt or something, but nope. So I can't even put that back on. I could rig it back up like I had it with a pair of vice grips, but I'm done with that. Especially after I worked out my wrench on it once. So that went to poop. So I figured the thing's not going to run, so I started tearing other things apart. Here's your oil filter. That is not the correct oil filter it's supposed to be on this thing. It should be a metal canister. This is just a paper. And it's actually a Fram. I don't even know if Fram makes an actual replacement for this thing, but that is not right. It's actually, these holes are supposed to be about 1 inch. Those are like 1.5 inches. And it's actually supposed to seal tight. Otherwise, this thing's really doing nothing in there. So I'll be picking up a new one of those. I haven't even changed the oil in that thing yet, so I gotta do that. The oil's pretty dark. So I got a starter switch, oil filter lines, oil filter, need to get some oil. And then my big problem is the harmonic balancer on that thing is toast. It's not back and forth, at least 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. It's got a lot of play. Just, you know, actual rotational spin on the harmonic balancer. And that thing's supposed to be pressed on only. So it ain't pressed on no more. So I got to pull that off, see if the balancer's worn out. Hopefully the crankshaft itself isn't worn off on the end. What a lot of people are doing is, since those don't even have a bolt that hold them on, a lot of people drill out the snout of the crankshaft, install a small block Chevy bolt in there. So that's a big hole to drill, but that's probably what I'll end up doing. Like a 7/16 hole, I think, is what the bolt is, 7/16. So yeah, we'll be doing that. So that is the main reason it's not going to drive on the street, is the harmonic balancer. Because that's bad. I don't need that flying off on me. I'm thinking I'll probably just end up getting a new key on there, because it's got a little, was that Woodruff key? A little tap-in deal in the slot. Probably put a new one of those on and then run a bolt into it and call it a day. or a week, however long it takes. But yeah, so I was kind of bummed about that. Kind of set my whole weekend off on a bad note. So I didn't really do a whole lot else. Got the Jeep today. I kind of pulled it out and greased up all the U-joints and steering and rear shackles and all that good stuff. So kind of put the Cadillac back. So I'm going to drive the Jeep a little bit this week, I think. Put some miles on her, make sure she's all working good, which I haven't had any problems with it yet. So just letting the battery charge right now. Other than that, that's your update. Didn't really do much else. Actually had to water the lawn this weekend. It's getting dry out here, so. Sounds like the sprinkler just got stuck. No update on the house I'm trying to get. Absolutely nothing. Just an email that now the other lender, or not the lender, the listing agent's actually contacting the lending bank and asking them, hey, what's going on? Have you evaluated the property yet? So hopefully this week we'll hear something. But who knows? The short sale could take as long as it wants. So that's it. That's all I got. Talk to you later.